Good morning. My name is Jennifer, and my classmates are Luis, Angeli, Sebastián, and Felipe. Today, we talk about the march in Colombia. Our title is Fighting for a Future. Making a tax reform in a pandemic will be suicidal. This was the word of President Duque last year. The Colombian population was surprised by the appearance of the Sustainable Solidarity Law, which generated a tax increase with which they intended to mitigate the economic disequilibrium by the pandemic of the coronavirus. This law was the cause, the beginning of the indefinite national march, and with it, economic and social imbalance of the community.
This freefall direction of the middle of lower class rising bound essential good of sentences sent many of the wind from not habit but to paint 19% sent word electricity gas among dirt pavering and the plummet defect of unclearness are the still the bills front mounted the Colombia.
The protest began on April 28th of this year, although initially peaceful, obtained when a group of people in response to police abuse attacked twin, forming violent protests where there were counts of death, injuries and disappearance. In the midst of the tension, the people were able to find further regimes. Outthrown the city continues with damage to transport that affected the people.
Different international entities have set the size of the most visible of demonstration that will be these clashes between the parties both of the side of the Protestant signature and the authorities that seek the restoration of the order. In most cases, and precisely, the ratio for international intervention, with excessive use of force and violent representation of mobilization. It can be shown that a visit by the Human Rights Watch was necessary in the context of the protests over the numbers of complaints against the excessive use of force.
It should be noted that after his visit of the country, the AACHR issued a report in which it described as disproportionate and lethal the response of the authorities in Colombia in the context of the protests of the national strike. Despite the report establishing measures for better action by the authorities, the government's position is unfortunate, in this case represented by Vice President and now Foreign Minister Marta Lucía Ramírez, when she indicated that the government is not obligated to comply with all recommendations since they do not have a binding character because they are not part of an investigation of the Colombia state.